Hey guys, we are back in the workshop with just a quick little video this time. Just to help out a mate, we're going to go over how to unlock a gearbox. So it's a fairly common thing. Most gearboxes have this flaw, and it's an artifact of the way that the semi-auto function in the gearbox has got to work, really. For this kind of design of Gearbox. Version 2 next gens as well, and it particularly happens when you're running weak or underpowered or well-used batteries. So anything that doesn't have a high discharge rate, like your old NIMI batteries, in especially high stress builds, so you know the recoils with the extra recoil weight, or like a DMR or something like that. So what we're going to do, we'll just jump right into it. So if your gearbox is locked up, sometimes you'll be able to just flip it onto full auto. That raises the cutoff lever above the trigger mechanism, and then that allows you just to pull the trigger again, and that will solve the problem. But sometimes it's not that easy, and you've actually got to pull the Anti Reversal Latch. Now, because this is a quick video, I have not checked to see if this gun has an Anti Reversal Latch, but we'll show you anyway. So first thing we've got to do is take the grip plate off. Now we're doing a Tokyo Marui recoil scar here, and with this you can just kind of use that to lever it off slightly if it's not forthcoming. It's a TM recoil scar, and I'm doing this one because that is the platform that my friend is having issues with right now at a game day. So now already I can see that the wires have been put in incorrectly in this build, and hopefully we can get the motor out because it's looking a little bit stuck. And that is because the wires have not been routed correctly. I just had to pick this one, didn't I? Of all the recoils. There we go. So now we've got the motor out, and it should be a lot easier than that if the wires are routed correctly. So in here you can see we've got two screws, 1, 2, and we are just going to need to take them out. So we'll unscrew that one. There we go. And the second one there. And this is, once you've got this grip off here, that's really as far as you need to take it in terms of disassembly. So you don't even need to pull it all the way off. Just sit it to one side like that. And we do have an anti-reversal latch in here. I'll see if I can show it to you. Let me get my torch. So, just in there, now you can see the negative wire just on the inside here, and then just underneath that, just here, there is a little block. Now it's kind of difficult to see because the lighting I've got set up here. There we go, that little square just underneath the negative wire. And what we're going to need to do is pull that up. So what I use is a little Kirby grip, and put this down. Just slot you back on there for a second. So I use a little Kirby grip, and I've put a hook on here so I can kind of get hold of it like this. And then I've taken the kind of little bobble off the end, folded it over to a nice right angle. Let's just, there we go, to a nice little kind of hook like that. And that is going to allow us to go straight in. I'm going to do it this way around. So we're going to go in like this, sideways, over the top of the anti-reversal latch, turn our hook round and then pull out. And that click, that is the gears unwinding. And we're just going to need to do it a few times until you can lift the latch up without the gears clicking. Now, we'll see if we can get any kind of view in here. Right, let's see if I can hold the torch in my mouth to show you. Right, so I'm going to mumble or maybe just not speak for a bit. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that. Hopefully I can get a little shot of the Anti Reversal Latch in here. So I know it wasn't a very good picture there, but you can kind of just about see the anti-reversal latch, that little shiny thing that was moving up and down in there. Yeah, the light is really not so good in here. But that is how you release a locked up gearbox. And then to put it back together, first thing we're going to do is just make sure all of our wires are kind of sitting out of the hole that the motor pinion goes through there. Now here we've got our screws inside already, which is nice and handy. So we're going to pass the wires through the front hole there and this one down the back. Now this has a spectre installed, so the negative wire is at the front and the positive is at the back. If you've got a regular switch assembly in there, it'll be reversed, but it doesn't really matter so long as you plug in red to red on the motor. It doesn't matter which way they're oriented. So let's get these screwed in place. Now this procedure is basically identical for every version 2 gun out there, or every next gen version 1, whatever this is, version 2, whatever the next gen designation is, this next gen gearbox, this one here. So what we're going to do with the wires, so with most grips you've got to route the wires up the back, and then one goes over to the terminal at the top and then the other one comes back over to the terminal down here. So easiest if I do it this way because I'm right-handed. We're going to push this black wire up against this side of the grip, and I'll show you a little shot in there. So it comes up the back. Just like that. So you see how it's going along the top of the grip there? That is how it's got to sit. And then this positive line is going to sit down this side of the screw mount. So we're going to put our motor in. So we've got the positive terminal up here and the negative down here. We're just going to plug our positive terminal in and then hook the negative over the top here and down the front. Now some gearboxes do have wire routing space, some grips do have wire routing space down the front, MP5s, SIGs, and some AKs, but then they have motor cages. But for most kind of M4 style grips, you route both up the back and then over the top like that. So now we're just going to take the screws out of our grip plate. We're going to put our motor adjustment plate back in here, and that stops the height adjustment screw screwing straight into the rotating axle. And then we're going to turn the gun onto the grip. Let's see if I can get this in shot. Just like that. So I have held the grip up so the motor plate stays in place, and then put the grip down onto the motor plate. Kind of hard to get it in shot with the limited space here. So then hold that down, make sure you hold the grip plate in while you are doing the screws, especially for a TM recoil, because these screws are going into plastic threads, and you don't want to do it too tight, just kind of, see if I can demonstrate this, just fingertip tight on your screwdriver there. You don't want to yank it round, because that will strip the thread, especially on this shorter front screw here on the scars. It's a thing just enough. It's a thing I see very, very often, is that front screw stripped, and that's basically a new grip. So that is how you pull the anti-reversal latch from start to finish on a TM recoil scar and basically any gun with this M4 style grip here. So I hope that's helpful, and yeah, just drop me a message down below if you have any comments or questions. See you next time.